Almost 2,000 years ago, a group of people in feudal Japan found themselves pushed further and further away from the mainstream of society as they refused to give up their spiritual beliefs to the imposed conformity of the ruling class. The ruling power made it illegal for common people to carry or own the deadliest weapon of the time, a finely edged sword. So these people had to learn to defend themselves in different ways, to walk the path of their own chosen desire, and to blend in so as not to attract attention. They learned survival skills so unsurpassed that the name ninja became feared by all who heard it. But the primary concern, then as now, was to live and to let live in peace and harmony so that all mankind can reach their own levels of heightened enlightenment. This black belt home study course is designed to set you on the path. Nenpo will give you the power to overcome life's obstacles by coming out on top. And the skills you will learn in this series will give you the flexibility to roll with life's everyday punches, the courage to climb above life's obstacles. Only your own discipline and perseverance can carry you through to the finish. Your goal of receiving a black belt and all that it stands for. And view life from a different perspective from that uncluttered height. And what the insights that you've gained will help you to slice through all the things that are holding you back from being all that you can be. You may find that instead of being caught up in fights that don't concern you, you can just hang out and observe. Unless, of course, you need to take action, and then who knows? You may be so dazzling they don't even know what hit them. We will study from the traditional schools of Kumigakureru, Kotoru, Tagakureru, Gyokushinru, Gikanru, Gyokuru, Tagagi-Yoshinru, Shinden Fururu, Kuki-Shinden Rus of Grandmaster Masaaki Hatatsumi of the Budzinkan system. I am proud to present this black belt home study course. Well, we're moving along on our journey in progression. We're now at 6Q level. Learning 6Q, you want a little bit more mobility and stuff in your body, being able to move in different kinds of ways to evade attacks. We're going to begin those approaches by showing you a few things of some rolling practices, some basic Tai-Ninjutsu skills.
We're going to begin rolling practice with Zenpo Kaiten. Previously, we've been doing Zenpo Kaiten using the hands and assisting you going down to the ground, as well as bringing yourself back up. At 6Q level, you're going to want us to do Zenpo Kaiten without the use of the hands. You're just going to want to go into the roll without touching your hands to the ground. Because at this level, you're going to be using weapons, going down to the ground with weapons in your hand, as you've seen before in some of the other techniques we've been doing. You're going to also be able to take your opponent down to the ground with you as you roll, without the use of the hands. So it's no longer, we're now doing it free hands. Weapons or use of taking down an opponent.
Basic application of being able to utilize your roll in picking up a weapon is that maybe you're in some kind of fight or altercation. Maybe you've lost your weapon onto the ground. Or maybe all of a sudden you notice out of the corner of your eye there's a weapon that you can use. You want to be able to allow your body to go straight to the weapon and go ahead and roll, picking up your weapon and coming back and doing some kind of strike with it. Beginning drill is to go into Shizen-no Kamae, having your weapon right in front of you. As you allow your body to naturally go to the ground, picking up the weapon and tucking, coming straight back up. Of course, you can turn and do a strike. Once more, I'm naturally flowing Zenpo Kaiten. So I practice this moving into different kinds of postures. So you could actually be in another posture as we move out and learn to even dive roll, utilizing our hands for picking up our weapons. So basic aspects of using Zenpo Kaiten or rolling skills in picking up weapons.
Moving along, now we're going to work on Koho Kaiten, without using the hands. Just sliding the leg out, rolling from one hip to the opposite shoulder without using the hands. You can keep your hands up as a defense, or as we've been saying, using hands to hold a weapon. At 6th kyu, you also want to be able to start working on practicing your rolls coming in and out of kamae. So you're standing in Ichimonji kamae, no kamae, sliding this out, coming back into Ichimonji no kamae. Koho kaiten.
One of the basic drills that we created to be able to teach people how to roll effectively, especially when they have a weapon, and not to use their hands, is a drill that we have that we toss a weapon back and forth to each other, and as each person does koho kaiten. So basically I would toss to my partner, who does koho kaiten, who tosses the weapon back to me, which I do koho kaiten. As I come back up, I toss, and we continue this as a drill. Basic drill of practicing the kemi with koho kaiten.
Now we're going to work on oten, or cartwheels. Previously we did this one of two ways. We did this from hiro no kamae with a timing of 1, 2, 3, 4. We also did this with 1, 2. This time we want to do this using only one hand. We're going to use a second form of timing here, going from hiro no kamae, back into hiro no kamae. Now this form of oten can be used if you have a knife in your hand, or suppose you're hitting an opponent as you're going over. So you can hit an opponent as you go over here. Boom. Boom. Got a knife in my hand. I don't want to risk putting my hand down and doing a cartwheel with a weapon in my hand because I might cut myself. I also might lose the weapon. Oten, using only one hand.
The next forms of Taihinjutsu are Shihho Tенчи Tobi, or four-way leaping skills. Skills in being able to get out of the way of the attacker, maybe when you don't want to roll, but maybe evade something being thrown at you or something coming at you in a fast motion, whether that's a sword or it's an attack or even it's an automobile, to be able to get out of the way. The basic form first of Shihho Tенчи Tobi is sideways leaping. I may begin first in hiro no kamae. And in hiro no kamae, that I'm going to my right or migi, that my feet kind of come in together as one foot comes in, the other one goes out. So I'm coming here, sideways leaping. So I'm looking, wow, watching. Maybe dodging. I can get higher. All in one motion. First form of Shihho Tенчи Tobi. Second, from a natural shizen posture, maybe someone would be cutting with a sword or cutting underneath me. I have to bring my legs up into a fudoza or cross leg position, needing to get high if somebody's trying to cut my legs out from underneath me. So the legs come up and cross. Basic skills.
There are two more forms of Shihho Tенчи Tobi, Zempo Tobi and Koho Tobi, forwards leaping and backwards leaping. Either can be used to either get closer to an opponent or to retreat and gain more distance away from an oncoming opponent. Basic form is starting in Ichimonji-no kamae. If I'm going forward, I'm going to leap forward using the push-off of the forward foot first, lifting the back foot up and going forward. Going backwards is the same thing. I want to make it clear that if I'm stepping with the forward foot, if I'm going forward, I don't want to move this anywhere as part of a wind-up here. I don't want to move and then step. I just want to jump from here, lifting the back foot up first. Same thing, if I'm going backwards, I only want to move my forward foot first, here. I don't want to give my opponent any sort of indication that I might be going forwards or backwards. Just jumping back. Zenpo Tobi and Koko Tobi. Moving along with the Dakken Taijutsu techniques of 6th Kyu, we're going to start this off with Shihō Geri, or 4-way kicking. We already know Zenpo Geri, Sokoho Geri, or side kicking, Koho Geri, or back kick. Now in 6th Kyu, we want to practice these all in succession. We want to put them together, all 4 directions, forward, sideways, backwards. Also with the other leg, forward, sideways, backwards. And keep practicing them. Practicing them in different orders. You can practice these open air, as I'm doing, against the air, or you can practice them with opponents, getting partners or ukes on each side and front and back. Practice. Now you can practice these by yourself, as I've been doing here, just in the air, or you can get yourself some partners, 4 partners, and put one on either side of you, and one in front and one in back, and practice targeting, picking different targets. Maybe you want to hit him in the knee, or hit him to this upper part of the body, going forwards. Because you can use this technique for multiple attacker drills and other drills like that. Shihō Geri, 4-way kicking.
For 6th Kyu, the last aspects of the Dakken Taijutsu will be Sokouyaku Ken, which is a heel-sole dance, utilizing the soles and the heels of the feet against an attacker. We're going to begin by demonstrating how this works if an attacker comes and grabs a hold of your body. That, very simply, if I bend down a little bit with one leg, raising my foot up, I can easily attack a leg, bending it out to one side. I can take my heel and shift it over, kicking out the other leg. I can kick to the groin, kicking back out on the other leg, stepping down on this to disable my attacker. Once more, maybe from the opposite view, but I'm actually coming here, I'm kicking the leg, bending his body. I'm shifting over, kicking out with the heel to the other leg. I can shift back with a stomp to the groin. Can hit with the heel here, kicking back out the leg, stepping forward down on the leg itself to be able to hold this attacker. I can still use my heels, my soles to disable parts and points on the body. As you do a couple of these things close up so that you can see actually how these work, watching the feet, then I just come up, basically turn this leg out. I come over with the other leg, kicking with the heel. Coming up, maybe raising into the groin. I can kick back to the same leg. I can turn and kick this leg out. Knee out, bringing this person down. Holding on to them, heel stomp, again, or toes into the throat. Once more. Watching the close-ups again. Maybe bringing my foot up, stomping the heel into these thighs or anywhere down the leg. Maybe stomping onto the foot itself. Turning the body. I can push this way. I can kick back through the other leg. Using this leg in the inside to open his legs even more. I can switch feet. Toes into the body. Kicking the heel, kicking the leg out, stomping on this leg. Even on these joints are very, very painful and will move the person, as you can see. These are the aspects of the heel sole dance, Sokouyaku Ken. The final form of the Sanshin-no kata, of the Kihon Happo, in 6th Kyu, is Kuno kata. Kuno kata is the void form. It's taking the aspects of all of the elements. It's from which all things get created from, to be able, and utilizes other aspects like Kyo no Jitsu in false and evasion type forms and the essence of creation in this basic form. We begin this Kyu no Kata in a basic Shizen no Kamae. From basic Shizen no Kamae, we fall back, doing a lower Gedan Uke block as if it was against a kick. The other hand comes up into a distractionary pose, as if a person is throwing a punch at you. Then you come forward with a Zempo Geri foot stomp kick to the chest. Once more, in full form of Kuno Kata, flowing back, flowing up like distracting them. Woo! Kicking forward. Once more from a side view, basic form is to come down, Gedanuke, hand floats up in distraction, foot stomp kick. Once more, woo! Giving a distraction, coming back. These are the form, the basic form of Ku no Kata. One of the aspects of Ku no Kata is utilizing distractions. So fall back and Gedanuke can come up with a mirror and shine it in a person's eyes. And then big foot stomp kick, doing maybe even breaking, shattering the mirror into their face. Another aspect is if I use this with a partner, as the partner comes and they deliver a kick, I'm falling back. This kick, he goes to punch, catching the punch itself. I can take a foot stomp kick into the body, stepping down, my leg slide into his, coming up underneath, flipping over, maybe stomping into the face. Kihon Koshi Sanpo, Jumonji no Kata. This is a basic form of learning to move in Jumonji no Kamae and utilizing the Jumonji posture. Done against an opponent who is punching from Ichimonji no Kamae, I go into a Jumonji posture. As this person punches slowly, I step back out of the way at a 45-degree angle. I rock with my body, striking his arm or at his wrist. I shift my body forward, doing a Shito-ken, Boshi-ken strike into the ribs, coming back up to the face for protection. As he strikes again, I shift my weight, coming back into Jumonji, coming back, striking into the arm, rocking forward with a strike to the body, watching his other hand, coming back up into the face. As he punches again, falling back into Jumonji, rocking back in, punching to the body, going to the face. I then switch and punch, This is the basic form that you want to practice. If you practice, you can speed this up just a little bit or do a little bit of jumping skills as you progress in learning more of this basic form. So that I may start here, I may go. A little bit faster type motion. If the distancing is off, I may need to jump a little bit. And utilize the aspects of the Jumonji no Kata. The next form of the Kihon Happo is Ude Jime Ashidori, also known as Musha Dori, or warrior take. This is done against another partner. As the partner comes up and does a double hand grab. One hand is grabbing the lapel at the chest. The other one is grabbing onto the opponent's sleeve, right above the elbow. I return the same thing. I also grab his lapel and grab his sleeve. There's certain factors in this that I can learn to control and to be able to learn at 6Q, to be able to feel this person's movement and what they're going to do. I can actually turn their body with a punch with this hand. I can actually control the arm or the elbow pulling back with the opposite hand. I can use thumb strikes inside here as I'm doing grappling. Thumbs in the throat, it causes the opponent to choke. The basic form of this is that I want to first pull my opponent off balance. So I'm falling back into this position at a 45-degree angle, almost actually in an Ichimonji no Kamae. I want to reach out over the top of his shoulder as I step with a step onto his other foot. I'm bending and keeping this V cut in his elbow. At the elbow joint, I want to turn my hand over. It's like I'm reaching out for something on a shelf. As I slide my arm along this, I want to turn as I step up at an equal side distance with him, raising his elbow as I bring my hands up. Notice how this bringing his elbow changed the position of his body. The next form of this is to kick out his leg, taking him down, holding position for a hold. Once more, let's turn and do this on the opposite side. Basic grab. From this position, I want to fall back at a 45. His natural tendency may be to pull me back. So as he does, he's going to help me into this position. I'm just continuing to slide this foot over, standing on his toes, lifting my hands up, kicking this leg out, and down he goes. Holding a lock on his arm with my knee or hands or whatever else that I'd like or choose to do. Once more, the form of Musha Dori. This person may be very, very strong, so I may need to actually pull back, and as if he pulls my body back, I may need to go up, come down, taking this arm, bringing up his body, kicking out the leg. Now I'm showing this as a close-up. As I fall back, I'm releasing this hand as I come out over, sliding alongside the arm, turning and lifting up at the elbow, lifting the elbow up. I would be bringing this hand up, but I want to raise this elbow so that as I take and I kick this leg out, my opponent goes down. I can control in many different kinds of ways. So, that is the basic form of Musha Dori of the Kihon Happo. The weapon for 6Q is the kusari-fundo. The kusari-fundo, easily concealed, is a chain with two weights on both ends. The weights can easily be fit into the hand and hidden in the hand using for different basic strikes and using of daken taijutsu on certain key points. The length is primarily from the center of the hand to the palm to the center of the chest. For some people it's a little longer, but some people it's almost the same length or almost as that of a hanbo. You want to think about this flexible weapon as also being a solid weapon. So using both aspects of hura and amote aspects of the weapon itself. You can utilize this in grappling, where you can tie up against an opponent in the chain. You also can actually hide and conceal this weapon very easily. As I take in one hand and allow the chain to fall down, so it comes up and is completely concealed in my hand. I can use these points for striking, hitting, the bottom for hitting, the top for punching. The chain is concealed in my hand, so the length of the strike isn't as evident. As you see, if I step back into an Ichimonji posture, that I necessarily wouldn't be in a posture, but if I was from a posture going forward with a ski, then naturally, as I punch, that I have much more length with this weapon coming out. Done from a side view, the same position as I'm here, doing with a punch, come straight out, punching at my attacker. The attacker will not be able to see this, especially if it's dark and black as such as this one is. That my natural could just be naturally stand here and chain just comes right out. Then in a side view, standing here, naturally, not seen by my opponent at all. Creating a different angle that I can just come out, strike back down. It's a very, very versatile weapon. It's a very versatile weapon in the fact that I can utilize the length of this in a way that can't naturally be seen. One of the practice drills for opening up the footwork is allowing, so noticing that my arm is actually in one position. I'm actually moving my feet to move my arm. I'm not just swinging this where it hits my body. I need to move my body with the weapon. So it naturally flows back into the other hand. So I want to move here so that it's not touching or hitting my leg. This is a very good drill for practicing footwork. I can come back into this hand. I can actually switch hands, coming back to the other hand. Natural footwork, natural posture. I can learn to move quickly in this. The person doesn't even see the strike because it's very fast. Couple of the aspects of the basic level of utilizing the kusari-fundo. I'd like to show you a few things of using this against an actual attacker. But we don't want to use an actual chain because that'll actually break and shatter his bones. So practice for safety, you always want to take whatever weapon that you're working with, create a model that's pretty close to the exact model that you have, and one that will not injure your opponent. You can actually put an eye out just with the tip of even a rope. So be very, very careful in these practices. In putting this in the hand, you'll notice that it doesn't go very cooperative. The rope is not the same as that of the chain. So I have a very basic that I take a grip with my thumb and have the weight at the very end. This is symbolized as not as the weight. But I would take and I would learn to bend this down, gripping with these fingers, walking this up so that I have the weight in the other hand, put it into the finger so I have it gripped together in this fashion. Two ways. One is this grip for punching and letting go, still holding between the fingers. The other is to reverse the knot in the opposite hand, walk it up, put it into the hand so that you have a knot at one end and a knot out at the fingers. So I can do punching and I can actually release this now from the bottom. So I begin to show you a few things with an actual attacker. Realizing still that this would symbolize an actual metal weight, which will create a much, much different effect against an attacker than an actual chain. I can do this where if a person is attacking me with a knife, I can actually just step out here and go right into the face. This rope symbolizing that as a chain can actually come right down on the hand itself. It will actually take this knife straight out of the attacker's hand. Utilizing some aspects of this, once again, even against a punch, that I'm just hitting into the face. It can come over the arm itself. He may be punching with the other hand. I can go straight down to the ground, releasing, letting go, smacking onto the body. It could also be in more vital areas. Only if necessary. We don't want to do overaction and overkill, and we always have to do things to the intent of the attack. Empty-handed, I wouldn't do that. A knife where it's actually threatening me may be a different story depending on the attack and the situation. You have to be very careful with the intent of these particular things. But notice that this is just a natural ping, right? That would shatter a bone and probably not make him want to chase me again. But if he starts to come for some kind of other thing, very, very damaging weapon. Basic ideas with kusari. A couple of grappling ideas, if I naturally hold this as I took it off from my belt before, if I naturally hold it in my hand just natural, as this person comes, I can just turn, creating like a V in here. I could punch with this other hand, but it's very easy to take and bring my opponent down, holding, still grappling, or striking my opponent. Once more, I can also go to the inside, where I'm punching, continuing motion, having this locked on the arm. Finishing with another strike. Leg so he won't kick, arm, or back over to the head. Person coming, like say, with a choke, catching both of the arms. So I have it in this locked position. I can step in, utilizing the throw, still having his hands locked up and tied. I can also move these hands over to the side so it comes this way, coming back from behind, coming straight down. I could have left my knee for him to fall on. I was being nice to him in this position. But I also could choke him out. Always like to get that little extra hit in there. I just want you to get used some more of this idea, so that as this person punches, I want you just to clip down across the head with this one, down on the arm, down on the leg itself. Okay? We'll add striking and things after that. But this is just an inside, we're punching, or there's a fight going on, hitting here with this weight, down on here, into the leg itself. Okay? And we're going to add different things that we do. Okay? Once more, I'm just coming here, boom. Maybe I have to clip this hand away, punch into this. But just getting that idea. Okay? See it from a different angle. Coming here, clipping, hitting here. Hitting, but see I'm coming down even with my body. If his arm was here, I maybe would just continue through here. And come back up here and smack again. There's other chokes and things, but we're not doing that quite yet. So next idea is coming up. So this person punches, I just want to come up underneath here, punching with the weight itself up in the person's arm. Then clipping up through the head. Okay? So the idea is, and for beginning at first, you want just this kind of movement where you're, but notice how my body's rocking back with this, because I also can let this go after continuing hitting. So the fall here is just I'm clipping. I can clip right into the elbow joint. I can clip in here, in here. This first shot could actually be in the head itself. Then I can go down punching. Remember, these are metal weights. It's a different kind of story. So we're here, clipping in here. I could rock back in, clipping across the jaw itself. Okay? Slowly and safely here is that I'm actually coming. I could come in. I could punch up in here. I could turn this way, have it in my hand, where I'm pumping through, or I can catch the top piece of this weight up inside these muscles, coming through into the throat, into the jaw. Could come down. Remember, these things shatter, so be very careful with them. Coming here, but I want you to rolling this over and hitting across the face. So I'm falling back here, ow, but I'm doing this, and then actually let's turn it over and doing like a shuto. So, but we need to do this slowly. So I'm coming here, hitting here, up in here, turning this down and hitting into the face. Without talking, it's just I'm coming back here, boom. Okay? Hey. Okay? Fine. So the aspect is coming here, but I'm taking this arm right in the nose. Okay? Just an idea to practice with them hitting straight. Mesquite, that over the top. Now notice you have the other one hanging here. So why not just take this one? Taking this person down. Okay? Just concept. But here, this could be where I'm hitting this person. Well, that wasn't a very good job. But I didn't want to hit him in the face. This is where I'm coming here. I could hit across the face. I want this angle on the elbow. Now as I take this, I could take it out this way with my body, or I could take it straight down.
I can then let go of this, hit him in the chest. That's what I want you to do. You can hit him all kinds of places. But the idea is here, bing, across, down. Okay, here, the idea that I want you to have with that when I let go of that was that sometimes you may lose it. You need to think about other kinds of ways to utilize whatever happens in the situation. Because you may do this and nothing may happen. And you may have to grab with the other hand. Then you may have to think about moving out of the way if you're being hit. Okay, got the idea? Let's try once more from the other angle. So it's here. I'm coming across here. Being aware of this hand is a backhand. That's why I could just drop here. Right? Kick's going to come, right? Or we can do other things. The kick starts to come. You can also lock it up, and do some other things too. The next idea that I would like to work on is that in holding the hand with all the rope inside the hand with one weight on this end, so that when you release that, it comes out the bottom. And the usefulness part of that is that in falling back and striking up underneath, you could also move forward or move to the side where it comes underneath. Notice that I'm doing this a line outside of my body versus to where it's coming back and hitting me. I want to utilize a little bit outside so that if it's the weapon itself isn't hitting my body at all. Now I could release it just from here up underneath, but notice a little bit to the outside to where it's coming to the outside. This could just as well be, let's say, that this is just as well be, actually punch with the other hand. So this is just as well be underneath, coming underneath the chin. So I'm swinging it coming up underneath the person's chin, just smack. Of course, coming from the other side, punch from the other side. This also could be up underneath in the groin area. People get the point with that. Could be right up underneath in the elbow, just shattering that elbow joint. You can come this way, come back down. Same thing with underneath in the chin. It's coming here, kind of coming underneath. There's no reason why I can't just switch and come back down on the head again. Come down with the body. Or coming underneath here, coming back down. First I want you to practice though releasing this, trying a couple where it's inside, where I think it's to the face, but not hitting the face, just in front of it. This is practice. The other is coming right up underneath the joints here. Just the person had a knife in their hand, sword, stick, baseball bat, whatever, getting that, just depending how long the distancing, just shattering that underneath. It could be shattering in the hand or taking the weapon right out of the hand. I'm missing his hand on purpose here because I don't want to be smacking his hand. Also lightly, I want you going up underneath in the groin. Swing down, hitting the legs. But the idea is releasing it coming up. I could come out here, come right in to the leg itself, to smack either side. The particular target I would really want would be shattering, depending on the intent of the situation. This is high level intent if you go for the knee itself, because it probably can't be repaired too well. So I mean, in life and death situation, that's a little bit different kind of thing. But you can just as well disabilize a person by shattering right in the leg. Because I'm not going to use this, but again, I just want the illustration so you get a better understanding. Hey, we got a knot in here. That's another thing. You can shorten your weapons too by putting knots in them. Chains, and or ropes or whatever. That's another great thing of the versatility of this weapon, in that in these strikes that I also could just keep part of the fold in my hand, so I can utilize, now it's short, but then I could let go of it to where it's a lot longer. Okay. This will also, the chain itself will also move faster. Much faster than we were doing it from this side, from the bottom. But as this, I'm coming here, coming right underneath. Just now you can think about what this would be up into your chin, or into the groin, or if this was just to take, and I'm going to move back from John. If I was going to take this and I'm here and I'm coming where I'm just shattering right across the knee, just here, just bam. Okay? Right. Not too happy of your day. So it's a real versatile weapon, but if a person has a knife and they're trying to cut you with it, that kind of thing, and I'm actually using this chain, shattering, wham, it's going to make a major difference on their being able to hold it. A lot of you may be wondering, well, you know, what's the real use of using a kusari-fundo in today's world? I mean, it just doesn't really happen, you know. I mean, especially against defense against, I mean, not everybody has one of these, hopefully. Very few people really even know about them. But I mean, there's a lot of things you need to think about weapons to be able to use them out of natural things. What's natural that could be utilized the same way? I mean, of course, there's rope itself. I mean, there's rope itself all over, so you can think about that in just regular rope. Of course, there's chain itself by itself. Maybe it's in the back of your car, or maybe it's a chain that you chain up your bicycle with. But you can utilize this in the same kind of way with striking, hitting methods, grappling, as you'll see we'll use later. But same kind of idea of utilizing that of a chain. You can even use tire chains from cars. Maybe a person jumps rope. Yeah, this one's a little too long for me to demonstrate that with. But instead of doing your jump rope, why couldn't you use these? Striking, hitting. Right? A little longer. You could shorten this up, of course, by quickly grabbing lengths of the ends of it. So now it's more utilizable. You could also take and grab the move back and grab the handles, so you can be doing inside strikes. You could really tie a person up with something this long, with rope. A lot of chokes. Rope itself, double tying the ends real quickly. Bungee cords. Real good in aspects of flicking right into the person's face. Utilize these hooks up inside a person's nose, ears, eyes. When you tie them up, makes a good tie. So these ends are really could be deadly. Also just in hits. But somebody doesn't even see. There's a stretch of this. Of course, you could use your belt. You could tie quickly, if you wanted knots, you could tie knots in each end, right? Maybe you're right in the fight, just tying your knots, right? It's a little more weight on the end. Use this for grappling and against a punch. So where you've got somebody's arm tied up, taking them down, same kind of ideas, principles. Yeah, hi Hatsumi Sensei, how you doing? Great. Oh, I hear somebody sneaking in. You could hit somebody with this hand. Smack. Just a minute, please, sir. Boom. Smack with both ends, twist them around. You can still talk on the telephone if necessary. Smack him in the head. Boom. Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, yes, sir. Right. But I think you get. Does this technique ring like a bell? No. But lots of ways that you could utilize things like this. Okay? You have to think about. Bye. You have to think about regular. The same kind of techniques that we're even doing. If I'm holding this in the hand, I could be holding this hand this way. Person comes in, same thing. Boom! I'm just smacking off, knocking down. Sorry, into the body. This could be into the head or into the chin. It's got a lot. Sorry about that. No, I'm fine. But you understand? Or the smacking type things. You hear? Why couldn't I do this? Right on the bones. Bam! Right down. Smacking in the face. Hitting here. Cords coming around where you go to choke the person. It's more difficult. because these are more flexible. But I could go bing, 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 bing. It's for you! Here, you talk! Okay, I'll call you back. I'm a little busy right now. All right, all tied up. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm all tied. Well, I'm not all tied up. I've got another caller.
Call waiting.
This is call waiting, yeah. The point of showing you these other tools is that I want you to think of anything as possibility of being a weapon and not being stuck on one particular thing that's a weighted chain with two weights at the end. You have to think about what's naturally utilizable the same kind of way. And you want to learn to be able to make your own weapons. It's real necessary. Okay? So play with that idea.
Cue with the kusari-fundo. Practice lots of different kinds of ideas and techniques. And you want to be able to incorporate also with your weapons and everything else that you do that you have learned in all this cue of 6 and all the other cues before it. So it starting to blend, as you'll notice as we progress through the next higher ranks. You begin to be required to use these techniques in everything that you do. So we start watching your footwork, watching your different postures, your positioning, and start beginning to copy each and every one of these techniques so that you get them down very well, especially if you're wanting to be tested on this material. So we're done with 6Q at the moment, and I'd like you to practice real hard, because as we start progressing and it gets more and more advanced, we're going to move on now to 5th Q.
Right after this knowledge session on meditation.
One of the most important aspects of Ninjutsu is the Ninpo aspects. The aspects of blending the body, mind, and spirit. Begin this in a natural position of Seiza or Fudoza no Kamae. The ability to be able to relax the mind, body, and the spirit in one unified field of energy, presence, is most important in the development of your own spirituality and the connection to yourself and that of the universe. We begin naturally with this, making sure that our spine is completely erect. I want to begin by thinking of a center core shaft of light from the top center of my forehead, going all the way down my body, to the apex, all the way down through my tailbone. As I build this shaft of light, and maybe an inch, inch and a half in the very beginning, in a brilliant white light, as I breathe in through my nose, breathing in with this breath, I breathe in and breathe this energy in through the center of my forehead, breathing in, aiding that light to come down through my body and then back up through my spine. And as I do that and I build that breath, that I expand that light in my body so it starts wavering and starts expanding more and more. And as it expands, I want to breathe in with my breath and expand that energy out to at least a foot, 2.5 foot surrounding my body, all around my whole body and my whole being. As I do that, I want to push out any kind of impurities at all in my body. To be able to get yourself into a deep state of meditation, if you've never done meditation ever before, but if you first gaze with your eyes just straight forward, hands resting at your side, with your back straight and erect, allowing your body to just totally relax, to be very attentive in posture. That you begin by just rotating your eyes up at a 45-degree angle, as if you're looking out the top center of your forehead. Begin looking at this 45-degree angle for over 45 seconds. You'll begin to develop a state which is known as alpha. You can begin to close your eyes if you want, concentrating and centering that energy and that focus, the top center of your forehead. And allowing that light to pour forth and to pour out of your body. You can build in and build that shaft and increase the energy vibration inside and the light inside yourself. It begins first with bringing breath into the body, because you begin your life in with this first breath, and you end it in this physical body with your last breath. So we learning to breathe in and to expand that light vibration and bring it into the light starts balancing and creates a harmonious function in the body. Of course, you won't be talking. Just allow for the pause and the mind to still. And if any thoughts come in, you just kind of let them float out. You begin by concentrating on this brilliant light and just being aware of your breath. Flowing in and flowing out. Flowing in, flowing out. On the in-breath, you're bringing in that light, cleansing and pushing out anything that doesn't support your own highest good. In breathing out, you're pushing out any of those impurities. Expanding, elevating your mind and your connection to everything that is. Because you are a part of all the elements. Your body, your physical body, is made up of all of the elements of the earth. You are connected, you're a moving, living being. This form of meditation is very passive, but at the same time, the energy flows can be very moving. The next thing is you want to work on in building this as a higher state of mind after you've done this for quite a while, and you've practiced these forms, is add a few sounds. You can learn to hear the sounds inside the center, very center of your forehead, and also coming down from the top crown. So you have the vibration coming in here, the vibration coming from the sound. If you take from the top of the crown of the forehead and from the forehead, taking the points in from both ears and going into the very center of the head, as you concentrate in there, you'll learn to hear a sound. There's a natural sound, energy vibration will be your own sound or attunement. Later on, you'll hear things that you'll believe that are music and spheres in the galaxies. Some of the aspects, the deeper levels of the Mikyo of our art, that we have a bell and a dorji. These are practice and things of attuning the body to sound. We basically begin with one sound vibration, as you hear. You can move that current up and down your body. You can begin with feeling that resonance build in the body. This can deeply change your state of mind, of consciousness, and to help attune the vibration of body, mind, and spirit, utilizing the natural elements of life. These are some basic aspects and basic principles of meditation. Practice these on your own and develop skills that would attune you in the highest form to know who and what you are and what your connection to spirit is and how you move and relate to the world.